Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to Times Square. It's Kevin McCullough, that Kevin show, oddly enough. But very glad to have you with us, and very glad to welcome back from the America First Policy Institute, Mr. Marc Lauder, who is kind of the voice and face for much of what that incredible organization. And Marc, I'm not just blowing smoke at you. You guys, you came together shortly after the last administration, and in less than 3 years, you've become a real source of fact, of research, of study in terms of what people need to know as it relates to public policy. And I'm really grateful that how many of you ever got into that coffee shop and drew it up on a napkin and said, let's do this, that you voted to go through with it, because I think you've been a great addition to the discussion.
Well, thank you. Now, credit where credit's due. It is really the brainchild of our president and CEO, Brooke Rollins, who was the head of the Domestic Policy Council in the White House for President Trump, the great Linda McMahon, the great Larry Kudlow, basically saying all of the brilliant minds and the incredible doers of that Trump administration, we can't just scatter to the wind come January 20th, 2021. Yeah. Let's harness it. Let's bring them all under one roof, and then let's help shape the future for the America First movement, no matter who is going to be the nominee. Obviously, back at that time, we didn't know who was going to run, who was going to be the nominee, but make sure they're prepared and ready to go.
Well, and I think in a way, you've given undersupport and structure for the America First movement that lacked it in terms of an organized voice and think tank. Kind of what Washington would refer to as traditional conservatives have had heritage in some of these other places for a long time, but to be exclusively focused on the American First idea it's a new generation of thinking in the political arena, and I'm thankful that you guys are there. Let me quickly, speaking of brilliance, move to the vice president's brilliant record on the border, that we are supposed to think she was the first. What did she say in the debate? I'm the only person on stage that's prosecuted border crimes and so forth. Well, we got a report last week that if she's so good at prosecuting people that have committed crimes on our border, she's grossly derelict in that duty, because that report was mind-blowing.
Yeah, talk about the proverbial middle finger to Kamala Harris, is that the ICE, the Immigration Custom Enforcement, released statistics that showed out of the 12 million illegals or so that they've allowed into our country, 660,000 of them have criminal backgrounds. 35,000 actually have criminal convictions, including 13,000 convicted murderers, 15,000 convicted sexual predators. We're not talking about charges. We're not talking about accusations. 28,000 murderers and sexual predators who've actually been charged, convicted, and now they walk the streets freely in our country. You know, we always talk about, and for years, Kevin, we've talked about this, is that the border is making us less safe. The border is making us less safe. And it's kind of the, proverbial, you're less safe because all these people are here. Now you know it. Now you have hard and truth. Can you imagine 13,000 murderers walking the street?
I gotta say that report, because I don't think the American people are lost on this. I think that they have felt it. I think they felt the impact of Laken Riley and the 12-year-old in Texas and all of these people that have been murdered, and totally in New York City here, we have seen the violent crime. Everybody wants to argue about crime being down, but murders and rapes are up tremendously. And everyone kind of inherently feels it and knows it. This now gives them the proof that they're not nuts. And I think there's been a little bit of an attempt by the other side to kind of gaslight people that felt that way, and they had no right to. This is the reality.
No, you're absolutely right. And to make matters worse, I mean, think about it this way, Kevin. If one of those 13,000 murderers or 15,000 predators got picked up today for speeding or for shoplifting or something minor, and booked in New York or in LA, California, Chicago, all of these sanctuary cities, ICE isn't going to be told about it.
Yeah.
They're going to be let go. They're going to get their traffic ticket. They're going to get their citation, and they're going to be put back on the streets by these liberal sanctuary politicians from the left, as opposed to getting these killers and these convicts out of our country. They're not even permitted to tell federal officials that we've got this person. Can you come get rid of them?
So
that should make you very scared right now if you are living all across the country.
It makes my skin crawl. But so let me drill down on a couple of things here. Last week, there was a video released of Kamala Harris, and I forget the location, but I've got it linked at my Instagram, chanting with a group of illegal migrants the words "down, down with deportation, up, up with education." I guess the play in her mind is deportation's a dirty word, and people are going to think that she's mean if she says that she's for deportation. That would be kind of all on its own, not as big of a deal. But the very same week, 158 Democrats in the United States Congress voted to not deport criminal rapists and murderers that sexually assault American citizens. And yes, I'm slowing the gait of my speech down because I want this to sink into the people that are watching. The left doesn't even want to get rid of people that are harming us directly.
I mean, you just can't make this up. And, for folks who are on the fence, who may not be 100% sold, I mean, when you hear these kind of statistics and when you see that, remember, Kamala Harris has said in the past this multiple times that she wants to decriminalize illegal border crossings. She's also said her values haven't changed. And then when you look at the fact that she's allowed all of these convicted criminals, 435,000 of them, into our country, and now wants to limit our ability to get them out of our country. There's no photo op she can take down by spending 20 minutes at the wall and say, I'm tough on the border, when these are the direct results of your open border policies, Kamala. And it doesn't matter where you are. It's not just Texas and Arizona and California anymore. It's Virginia, it's Georgia, it's North Carolina, it's up the Northeast. It's through the Midwest.
He's Marc Lauder. I'm Kevin McCullough.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.